Hi, I thought I'd show you how you could use a macro to open a template file that you want to use over and over again. It's very simple. Let me show you how. I've taken one of Microsoft's template files, which is a weekly time record for a small business. And I've made sure, because I'm in the UK, that everything on it is related to English dates and all the figures are in pounds sterling, like that. Okay, so I've done a few little tweaks to it. Now I just need to save that as a template. So I'll use my F12 key. We will give this file type of being an Excel template. It moves it into my custom office templates, and I just take off the one and save that. If I'd like to run that as a macro so that every time I want to open that file, it just pops open, what I must do is record it. So I can go down to the bottom left corner here where I can push the button to record a macro, and we'll just say open timesheet. So I'm going to give my macro a name, open timesheet, and use the shortcut key Control-Shift-and-T to open it. I'll store the macro in a new workbook, and I'll give it a description saying open timekeeping template and say OK. So I go to File, New, and I look for my personal templates. And the one I'm looking for here is the weekly time record for a small business. So I click on that to open it up. And that's exactly the action I wanted. If I want to do anything else, like make it a little bit bigger so I can read it, then I should do that before I finish recording. Now, to stop recording, I go down to where I started the recording, bottom left there, and I click on the square which has come up to stop the recording of the macro. OK, let's close the file now. So my shortcut to run my template is Control-Shift-T. And there's my template. Oh, great if I can remember the shortcut. Now, if you're one of those people who's got a lot of things to remember and you don't want to remember another shortcut, instead of that, you could put it onto your quick access toolbar. And the way I do that is I drop down this list and I go to more commands. And here, instead of popular commands, I drop down the list and go to macros. And I've got a macro here, which is to open the timesheet, and I add it to my quick access toolbar. You can see I've added a couple of other macros as well. If I modify let's go for the clock and say OK, and then say OK. Let's close the macro and let's see if it'll open when I push my button. Fantastic. So every time I want to use this template, I should push the button on the quick access toolbar and I'll be able to start filling this in and putting people's hours in. So say somebody works 25 hours and maybe 2 hours overtime, you can see it's all adding up. I can enter rates in here. Again, I could have done that as part of my template if it's always going to be the same. So if it was £10 an hour, it will do the maths and it'll tell me how much it is as I'm adding it all up. So I hope you found that useful. Let me know if you've got any ideas for either a template you'd like to make or a macro that you'd like to run.